Hey KU fans, welcome back to Allen Fieldhouse. I'm Matt Tate, this is Benton Smith, and KU wins it today, stepping outside of Big 12 play, 74-68 over Tennessee. I don't know about you, Benton, but I love that Tennessee orange. I do. I do.
You really do?
I do.
Is it similar to the Denver Broncos orange?
No, like the color swatch game
swatch.
when they wear that or whatever.
Huh.
But it's similar to the Baylor highlighter yellow. But evidently, yellow's a more offensive color to the eyes because the orange doesn't bother me like those highlighter Baylor uniforms do.
Well, this is taking a turn.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about in that?
What do you want to talk about?
I thought maybe we'd talk about Udoka as a movie.
Good start.
And how KU just needed him to be on the floor to do anything on either side of the court against Tennessee today.
Yeah, this was
crazy.
This was one of my favorite games I've ever covered for that reason because it was so obvious with Silvio De Sousa and David McCormick suspended. KU had 7 scholarship players, first of all, which is none. Then they had 1 big man, which is less than none. So it was pretty much Udoka needs to stay on the floor as long as he can, and guess what he does? He gets 2 fouls in the first 9.5 minutes. That made it so interesting because you had to then watch the clock and when does he go out, when does he come back in, trying to follow the strategy and the mind of Bill Self at that point. What is he trying to do? How's he trying to play this thing? I thought he played it perfectly. I don't know that they played perfectly, but I thought he played it perfectly. And you know, Udoka didn't foul out. He dominated when he was in the game, and he didn't when he wasn't. I mean, it's that simple. But
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt bad for Tristan and Aruna.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, I guess you're our center now. Get out there and do your best, guy.
Right.
But I mean, they had to put somebody out there, and Marcus Garrett's ball handling responsibilities and all the things that he does offensively. I mean, you can't really, even though I think he's probably best suited to play center, you need him doing those other things. So
yeah, how about that?
They had to play through Aruna. Had to use Aruna at center.
Not play through him,
Not
but
play
use
through
him.
Yeah.
There was a time when he first went, when Udoka sat and Self first went to the 5 perimeter player lineup in the first half. The 2 guys on the bench were Udoka Azubuike and Marcus Garrett.
It's not ideal.
No, I couldn't believe it. It didn't
Don't
last
forget
long.
about the walk-ons. They were on the bench too.
Sorry, the 2 scholarship guys.
Yeah.
It didn't last long because a minute later or something, Dotson needed a break. So Garrett goes in, handles the point guard. I mean, it was clunky. The whole thing was clunky. I asked Garrett about it. You know, hey, did you have to play some 5? Do you even have a 5? He says, we didn't have one. You know, when Doak was out, we didn't have one. We were just looking for ways to move the ball, find rhythm, find shots, find easy points, and then obviously play defense in a similar way. But it was, I mean, Self said it after the game. It was obvious that we needed him in the game, and he delivered, man. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. Continues to just add chapter after chapter after chapter to what's becoming a fantastic year. I mean, this guy is so much more mature in really every possible way than he was his first 3 seasons at Kansas. 2 of those he was injured, of course. But, you know, they do the hack-a-shack thing tonight, and he just calmly knocks down 2 free throws. Just those types of things, the way he plays, the way he reacts, the way he carries himself. I mean, Udoka's a veteran, one of the best players in the country, and KU needed him to be that tonight because this was a 6-point game. I mean, Tennessee brought a lot of fight. They kept coming, they kept coming, they kept coming. They just didn't have enough, and KU totally overpowered them at times.
Well, how about Udoka's defense in the last 2 minutes of the game?
Right.
I mean, he intercepts an alley-oop pass.
Beautiful.
He's going all out to block shots around the rim, swats away shots. I mean, they won the game with his defense in those final 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've said this probably 1,000 times this season by now, but think about Udoka as a defender 2 years ago and where he is now. It's nowhere close to the same guy.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible the strides that he's made.
Yeah, that pass was, I mean, it was like a 4 or 5 point game. Tennessee's trying to cut it back to 1 possession. Their guy from the top wing in front of the Tennessee bench throws this lob that really had no chance. Doak made a good play, but Rick Barnes slams the table in front of the bench and goes, "What are you doing?" The only thing I can think of is the angle that pass was thrown from was basically right where Peyton Manning was sitting. He was here today. And so maybe he was just trying to show off, his arm and his field vision to Peyton, hoping that that's going to get him a an NFL tryout or something. I don't know, because other than that, it was a terrible pass. But it was cool to see Peyton Manning. I mean, he had the orange hat, he had the orange shirt. He was clearly pro Vols. That's what he does.
He did play there.
He did play there. And KU didn't introduce him, man. I mean, they'll introduce anybody that comes through.
Up on the video board?
Yeah, that's a big name, you know, they'll introduce you. But they didn't introduce him, and I didn't think about that until after the game. I get it, he's wearing all Tennessee orange and all that, but he's a legend.
The guy can take a boo as well.
Yeah.
Like, if the whole arena had just booed at him
And they
mercilessly,
would have.
he would have been fine with it.
He would have loved
He's
it.
Peyton Manning.
Right. Any final thoughts on this game? KU will turn around on Monday night and have to go down to Stillwater to play Oklahoma State. Again, with 7 scholarship players, that'll be the last game without McCormick, at least as long as he's back after the Big 12 suspension. So, you know, they got to turn around real quick after a pretty grinded out, physical, exhausting type of game and exhausting type of week.
Yeah, I mean, KU really essentially only played 6 guys today.
Right.
And, I mean, unless Interuna gives you something really positive at Oklahoma State, it could be the same thing in 2 days where you're basically relying on 6 guys, with Brown and Moss being the interchangeable guys with your 4 regular starters.
Right.
That's a grind. It's a road game. It's a quick turnaround. I think it's going to be a really difficult game to win.
I totally agree with that, and you know, Interuna played 5 minutes. It's not even that they have much practice time between now and then either. I mean, they didn't really have much before this game. Just a little bit of time to try to put something in, to figure out how to play without more than one big. They got it done today. Self flat out said, "I'm not really leaving here elated. I'm just happy we won." They did, 74-68. They improved to 16-3 on the year. And they're 5-2 now in this Big 12 SEC Challenge. So holding it down for the Big 12. That's what KU does.
Somebody has to, right?
For Ben Smith, I'm Matt Tate. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. We'll talk to you guys next time.